hope that you're all still doing all right and you kept warm. The weather was a little bit gloomy today. And I hope that you enjoyed the previous video with the toilet paper. I thought it was quite fun and interesting. Yeah, and I also just realized I think I've been labeling the days wrong. We're already on day number 9, so I'm a little bit behind on the times. But yeah, so I thought we'll just do a nice full body today, go a little bit more gentle with the exercises. We can keep up with some of the reps just in case the bodies are feeling a little bit tired, because I have been increasing the intensity a little bit. All right, so let's lay down on our backs on our mats and let's get started. Okay, so we're going to just start with our usual pelvic curls. So have your feet and knees roughly a fist distance apart, pelvis in neutral, so hip bones and pubic bone are parallel to the floor, and the ribs are nice and laced, so you feel that last rib pressing into the mat. If you do have a little bit of a gap by the lower spine from the mat, that's perfectly all right. We're supposed to have natural curves in the spine. All right, let's have the arms down by the sides of the body, making sure the feet are grounded equally and relatively close to the sit bones. Inhaling, exhale, scoop the navel, tuck the pelvis, and lifting up off of the mat, one vertebra at a time. Shoulders nice and relaxed and open. Inhaling to prepare. Exhale, start sinking deeply in that chest first. Feel each vertebra lowering down onto the mat, one at a time, until we return to our neutral pelvis, keeping the ribs lightly engaged. Inhaling, exhale, scoop the navel in, tuck that pelvis. Lifting up, really feel like you're peeling each vertebra off the mat. Be very conscious about what you're feeling as well. Bring the mind into the body. Inhaling and exhale, sinking in the chest. Lowering down one vertebra at a time. And return to neutral and relaxing that pelvis into neutral. And let's go for number 3. Inhaling. Exhale, scoop the navel. Feel like the lower spine's being pushed into the mat before we engage the legs to lift the pelvis up. Peel the spine off the floor. Good. Keep the ribs lightly engaged as we lift up into the bridge position. Inhale. Exhale, sinking in the chest. Lowering down. Arms and shoulders relaxed. And returning to that neutral pelvis. All right, so we're going to hold up onto the next one. We're going to challenge our pelvic curl a little bit more. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, scoop the navel. Lifting up off of the mat. Good. Feel the mobility in that spine. All right, so we're now going to take all the weight into the right foot and the right glute. The right glute is going to engage more. Take the weight into the right foot. Make sure the left hip stays away from the floor. We're now going to exhale to lift that left leg up to tabletop. Now make sure that the hips are still stacked correctly. Inhale to lower and tap the toe. And use that exhale. Keep the core engaged as we lift that leg back up. Keep the tuck in the pelvis as we inhale to lower for 2. And exhale to lift up. And last one, inhale to lower down, exhale to lift the leg. We inhale to place the foot back down on the floor, and then we exhale to sink down through the spine and back onto the mat. All right, so we make sure the feet are in the right position for our next one. We inhale to prepare. Exhale, scoop the navel, tuck the pelvis, lifting up and off the floor, shoulders nice and open and relaxed. Ooh. Okay, now we take all the weight in the left foot. We squeeze that left glute. We exhale to lift the right leg up. Make sure that the hips are still the same height. Inhale to lower and tap the toe, keeping a tuck in the pelvis as you exhale up. We inhale to lower for 2, and exhale up. Good, and last one, inhale down, exhaling up. Now we inhale to lower the foot down onto the mat, and we exhale to roll down through the spine, one vertebra at a time, returning to neutral. And then we lift the legs and hug them into the chest and gently rock from side to side for me, please. All right. Let's now place the feet back on the floor. Let's roll onto our side to come up into a seated position. Let's do some abdominal work from here today. All right, so we are now going to have the arms in front of us. So place one hand over the other, just in front of the chest. We don't have to have the arms lifted. They can be nice and low. They can even be touching that rib cage. Also, it depends on how much space you have between your legs and your tummy as well. If you don't have the space, then have the arms slightly higher up. All right, we're going to inhale to prepare. We exhale, scoop the navel and roll down through the spine. As we roll down, we're going to straighten the arms to either side of the legs. We roll back down as far as what we can comfortably, making sure abdominals are doing all the work, not those hip flexors. We inhale. Now, as we exhale, we keep the C curve. We start crossing the arms in front of us again, back to their start position. We keep that C curve, and then we inhale to lengthen and straighten the spine. We're going to go again. We exhale, scoop the navel, tucking, rolling back onto that pelvis. Start straightening the arms to either side of the legs. Roll back as far as what you can comfortably. Now, if you want to challenge yourself, you're welcome to lower onto your shoulder blades. Exhale, scoop that navel, pull up. Make sure the abdominals are doing the work. Arms crossed in front. Keeping the C curve in that spine until we're on the sit bones. And we inhale to lengthen and straighten. Lovely. And let's go again. Exhale, tuck the pelvis underneath you. Rolling back, lengthening the arms, finding the level that you want to work today. Good. Hold for the inhale. Exhale, pull that navel in to restack, crossing the arms in front of you, onto those sit bones, and inhale to lengthen and straighten. We're going to do two more. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, tuck the pelvis underneath you. Have the feet nice and relaxed on the floor. Keep the legs as relaxed as possible. Straightening the arms, tucking that pelvis. Hold for your inhale. Exhale, pull the navel in. Keep the C curve. Shoulders low. Start crossing the arms in front of you. Keep the C curve until you're on those sit bones. And then inhale to straighten. We've got one more. And exhale, scoop the navel. Rolling down through that spine. Finding the space that you're comfortable working in. Arms are straight down to the sides of the legs. Inhale. Exhale, pull that navel in, crossing the arms in front of you. And inhale to straighten that spine. Good. I'm sure you work those hip flexors a little bit. Let's bring the feet together. Take the knees out to the side. I want you to now grab onto your feet for me, or your ankles, whichever you can. Then I want you to pull with the arms ever so slightly on the legs and arch that lower spine a little bit for me, just so we can end up in a nice straight position. You should feel an increased stretch in the inner thighs. If you don't, bring those feet a little closer in towards you. Pull and straighten that spine. Connect beautifully under those armpits as well, so we can get a little bit of arm work in this position. It's not just a relaxed stretch. All right. Beautiful. Now, we can release that stretch. We're now going to roll over onto our left-hand side. We're going to get some side lying work going. I'm going to grab my pillow. Okay. Arm long, legs long. All right, so we're lengthening out of that hip bone and engaging the ribs underneath us on the mat. All right, have that top hand on the mat in front of you if you need that extra assistance. But if you want to challenge your balance, you can have that arm long on top of the body. All right, we're going to inhale to prepare, still lengthening out of that top hip. We exhale to lift that leg up only as high as you can, keeping the gap between the hips and the ribs the same. And then we inhale to lower down. We exhale to lift for 2. And we inhale back down. We exhale to lift for 3. We inhale down. Good. We're going to do 6 in total. Exhale to lift for 4. Lengthen out of those toes to get the lift. Good. 2 more. Exhale for 5. Still keeping the ribs lightly laced. And lower down. And last one, exhale to lift that top leg up. Beautiful. Inhale down. Now we're going to keep the legs together. This is more of an abdominal workout now because we're lifting both legs, so we have more weight in the air. All right, still keeping the hips stacked. Make sure that it doesn't roll back as we lift. Abdominals engaged, ribs laced. Exhale, lifting both legs up for 1. And inhale down. If the upper body is responding, to reduce how much it responds, reduce how high you lift your legs. Work within your body's range of motion today. All right. And we've got 3 more. Exhale to lift for 4. Inhale down. Make sure those ribs are still laced. Exhale up for 5. And those hips are still stacked. Good. And last one, exhale up for 6. All right. Bring the legs to a hover. We're now going to do little open and closing of the legs, a little flutters. So let's go. Breathe comfortably, just quickly opening and closing. Think of knees touching knees as we open and close, keeping the pelvis nice and steady. It's just little movements, but just quick. And pause, and we lower both legs down. So I feel some nice inner thigh work on the bottom leg with those. Now we want to bend the knees and place the feet in line with your sit bones. We're still lengthening beautifully out of that top hip and ribs still lightly engaged. We keep the feet together as we exhale to open the knee out and away. Now watch that top hip. Make sure it's still nice and stacked. It's going to want to roll back for you to increase your range of motion. But we want stability versus range of motion. This way we're going to get that glute working even more. And we inhale to close and squeeze. We exhale to open for 2. Use the exhale to keep the core as engaged as needed to keep everything steady. And we exhale and open for 3. And inhale, close and squeeze the inner thighs. Exhale and open for 4. Lovely. Inhale, close and squeeze. Now keep that squeeze. We lift the feet off of the floor. Keep the feet at the height that they are. So it's like a little fishtail. Still lengthening out of that top hip. We now exhale to open the knee out and away for 1. And we inhale to close and squeeze. Watch that pelvis. Make sure it stays steady as we exhale for 2. And we close and squeeze. And for 3. Lovely. Closing and squeezing. And last one for 4. Beautiful. Close and squeeze and lower the feet down. Okay, now I want you to grab your top ankle, so your right ankle with your hand. Use your hand to place that foot on the mat as high as your flexibility will allow. All right, so if you can get it in line with the hips, do so. But we're going to stay holding on to that ankle. We're going to straighten our bottom leg. We're going to get some lovely inner thigh work here again. We're going to exhale to now lift the leg up and off the floor and inhale down. But now make sure that top hip is still lengthened out and away. It will limit your range of motion. Exhale up for 2, but we want to keep our hips as aligned as possible. And exhale up for 3 and lowering down. Good. Exhale up for 4 and we inhale down, still lengthening out of the hip. Exhale up for 5. If you struggle to lift the leg, just engage the muscles. Last one. So you get the sense of lifting that leg up. And we lower down. Now we bend that bottom knee to jam the foot. To jam that right foot. And we push that right knee away from the midline. Only as far as what's comfortable for you and your body today. All right. I keep saying today when it's the evening. All right. hold that stretch for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and release that stretch for me. All right, we're now going to swap over to the other side. Okay, so if we have our pillows for our hips, make sure they're in the right position. Legs long, arm long. All right, make sure the hips are stacked correctly, lengthening out the top hip, lightly engaging those lower ribs. We inhale to prepare. We exhale to lift that top leg up for 1. And inhale down. Remember, to challenge yourself more, you can have that arm on top of the body. All right, and exhale to lift for 2. And inhale down. Still pushing that hip out and away for 3. And down. We're going to work that glute even more for 4. And down. Good. And for 5. Beautiful. And for 6. That's the last one. And lower the legs down. Good. We're now going to lift both legs at the same time. Engaging those ribs. Inhale and exhale to lift for 1. And inhale down. Exhale up for 2. Good. And for 3, make sure we have a slight tuck in the pelvis. Ribs pulling in. For 4. Good. So that we protect our back. And for 5. Lovely. Use that exhale as we lift for our last one for 6. We lower to a hover with the legs. And little flutters. And flutter. Breathe comfortably. Feel the legs doing the work. Keeping the pelvis nice and steady. So if you feel it rocking backwards and forwards, just pull that pelvic floor up a little bit more. Make sure the ribs are pulling in towards the chest. Good. And pause. And lower the legs down. Good. Let's now bend our knees, feet in line with the sit bone. Lengthening that hip out and away, ribs nice and laced. We inhale to prepare. Exhale, open the knee out and away, keeping that hip pushing forward. Inhale to close and squeeze the legs. We exhale to open for 2. And we inhale to squeeze closed. And exhale for 3. Make sure the pelvis is steady, so we're isolating the work in that glute. And close. Make sure the ribs are slightly laced. And opening out on the exhale. Inhale and close those legs. Good. We now lift the feet off the floor. Knees are still on the floor. Keep the feet at the height that they are. Exhale to open the knee out and away. And inhale to close the leg. Still reaching long out of that hip as we exhale to lift for 2. And inhale, close. Exhale for 3. Lovely. Inhale, close and squeeze to get the inner thighs. And exhale, open for 4. Good. Inhale, close and squeeze. Last one. Use the exhale to engage the abdominals for 5. Inhale, closing the knees and lowering the feet down. Now we grab the left foot with the hand. Place it on the mat, if you can, in line with your hips. We straighten that bottom leg. Make sure that knee is facing forward and not rotated towards the mat. We inhale and exhale to lift for 1. Remember to lengthen out of your top hip as you exhale and lift for 2. And down. Exhale and lift for 3. Good. And for 4. Feel that inner thigh working. Still lengthening out of the top hip and lift for 5. Remember, just feel like you're lifting the leg if you can't. Get those muscles engaged. We've got to start somewhere. And lower down. Now bending your bottom knee to jam your top foot. And we press that knee out and away. And we hold that stretch for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And we release the knee. We're now going to roll onto our bellies for some back extension work. But this time I want us to have the elbows in rugby post position. So the elbows are going to be either in line with or slightly below your shoulder. And you have a 90-degree angle at the elbows. We're going to have the nose and forehead in line with the mat. We pull the abdominals in and we lengthen out of that tailbone again. So push the pubic bone into the mat a little bit for me. We inhale to prepare. We exhale to lift the eye line first. We start lifting the chest, but we only lift the chest as much as we can before the forearms want to lift. Now, if you want to go into a full cobra, you then start straightening the elbows, but keep that pelvis tucked for me and feel like your chest is lifting up to the ceiling. If you're feeling this in your lower back only, please stay with the elbows down. If you're still doing fine with your spine, you can straighten those arms for me, but make sure the shoulders are low and out of the ears. And now as we lower, we start by bending the elbows first. Then the elbows hit the floor as early as they can. Then feel like they reach into each side of the room as you lower the rest of the body. This way the shoulders and shoulder blades stay low and wide. Okay, so let's go for number 2. Inhaling. Exhale to lift the eye line. Start lifting the chest. Abdominals pulling in and away from the floor. We lift as high as we can before we need to straighten those arms. And if we can, start straightening the elbows, keeping the hands grounded. Keep the pelvis tucked. Feel like you're pushing the chest up the wall. Keep the shoulders low and out of your ears. And inhale, bending the elbows first. Elbows hitting the floor as soon as possible. Abdominals still pulling away. Elbows wide to each side of the room as we lower down. We're going to do one more. Inhaling. Exhale, lifting eye line. Lifting chest. Abdominals engaged. Connect under the armpits as we start straightening the elbows. Keep the pelvis tucked. If the hip bones lift off of the floor, that's perfectly fine. Make sure that we're arching in the upper back. Good. And we bend those elbows early on. We lower the elbows to the floor. We widen the elbows as we lower the rest of the body down onto that mat. Beautiful. All right, placing the hands on either side of you, like we're going to do a push-up. Pull the abdominals in. Exhale, stay on the knees. Push the body up and push the sit bones back onto the feet. And just push the mat away. Feel like you're pushing your sit bones into your feet so we can open up that spine beautifully. Now I want you to widen the hip knees as much as the mat. And lower that upper body down towards the mat to stretch those shoulders out even more. Just rest the forehead on the floor and let's take 2 big inhales. And big inhale, big exhale. And last one, big inhale and big exhale. Lovely. Now we're walking the hands along the mat towards the body as we lift our head, lift our upper bodies. And voila, we are done for the evening. All right, thank you so much again for joining me for day number 9. I hope that everybody's still feeling good and staying committed to being healthy and getting a little bit of movement every day. Definitely helps to keep the mind a bit more focused as well. All right, so keep well and I shall see you guys tomorrow. Bye.